Reza Aslan, who I have worked with, who I respect, I know that there are many people that have felt that it's very important to, I don't know, suppose that he has like a PhD in literature or something instead of religious studies, or, I don't know. I don't know what this sort of nerd war against Reza Aslan was. I do know that it started many years ago, and I know that he had conflicts with Sam Harris, who I'll get to in a second, who really is the worst. But this is Reza Aslan now in an environment where I really hope people can get real. I would say that even if you still, you don't like people like Reza and, Islam, blah, 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 and thought experiments, I would hope that if you have any understanding of the actual real world that we are operating in, from the tremendous danger to civil liberties and human rights on particularly to Muslims right now in this country, to people from South Asian and Middle Eastern countries. And incidentally, if you also actually have a concern about terrorism, which is a real security threat, and you recognize that if ISIS has a vision board in whatever headquarters in Syria they have, putting this administration in place would be on top of it in terms of helping facilitate their strategic goals. I hope that now we can actually have a real conversation and take Reza Aslan seriously and people like him, regardless of whatever your particular feelings are, because now we're in a really serious moment, not a thought experiment moment. So here he is talking with Kayleigh McEnany or McEnany.
Kayleigh McEnany.
Yeah, whatever. I'm never going to pronounce her name right. I don't care. Here she is, basically saying that, stop fear-mongering about Donald Trump. All he said was, we just need to figure out what's going on. And Michael Flynn wasn't saying that Islam is a cancer. And where is all this coming from? This idea of registrations and maybe even internment camps. It's not like it's still on his website, right? Reza makes a really important point here that we're about to see, which is that if you take Islam, again, whether or not you like it or not, whatever, I don't care. I'm totally done with those debates. But if we as a civil society say that this is not a religion, it is an ideology or a political movement, what does that mean for constitutional protections for the Muslim community? Let's take a look at the CNN clip.
You said a complete ban on Muslims. He said a temporary ban until we find out what's going on. That was on the heels of someone getting into our country, Tashfeen Malik, and taking 18 lives. That was on the heels of that.
Thank you for calling in the majority.
People who come from terror hotbed countries. Let's get our facts right, because nuance matters. And to come on and say a complete ban, you leave out all the nuance. You leave out the temporary. You leave out until we figure out what's going on, and you scare a heck of a lot of people.
Reza? Actually, the truth, Kayleigh, is that Donald Trump has yet to actually clarify. The ban on Muslims is still on his website. It's still part of his platform. We've gotten numerous indications back and forth from his campaign about whether that actually means a religious test or whether that's from Muslim-majority countries, which in and of itself is quite problematic because that's not where all the terrorism is. I mean, look, the fact of the matter is that anti-Muslim bigotry has been the hallmark of Donald Trump's campaign throughout. And now he has brought together a cabinet so far of people who tend to agree with his views about Islam and about Muslims, and that has to be problematic. And again, to this whole constitutional element thing here, it's really just math, Kayleigh. If Islam is not a religion, then Muslims don't get religious rights.
That's it. It's as simple as that. And we're in a real situation now. And again, you can hate Muslims, hate Islam, be an ex-Muslim, whatever. That's great. I support it. I'm not a religious guy myself, but we are in very serious times that affect a very specific community and will exacerbate legitimate security concerns. And there is Kayleigh, who at best has no idea what the hell she's talking about. At worst, is another disgusting cynic carrying water on behalf of this incoming administration.
Hey, it's Sam Seder. Why don't you subscribe to this channel? You can do so right over here. Subscribe.